Welcome to this session on lines and angles. By the end of the session, you will be able to learn what is a point, line, line segment, ray, angle, types of angles, intersecting lines, non-intersecting lines, transversal, parallel line and transversal. Let us start with point. In geometry, a point is a location which doesn't have any length, width or depth. Line. In geometry, a line can be defined as a straight one-dimensional figure that has no thickness and extends endlessly in both directions. So in this direction and in this direction. And can be represented in two ways. Usually we represent a line with the help of lowercase letters or with the help of a points and labeling these points. Now I can name this line as line L or line AB or line BA. Line segment. A line segment is a part of a line which has two end points. That means it has a fixed length. And how we represent a line segment? We represent it as line segment AB or BA. Now let us know what is a ray. Ray is also a part of a line which has one end point and can be extended in one direction. And how to represent a ray? A ray can be represented as ray OA, but we can't represent it as AO. This is wrong method of representation and this is the correct method. This representation shows that the end point is at O and can be extended in the direction of A. Now let us know what is an angle. An angle is a union of two non-collinear rays with a common initial point. So it can be represented as where O is a common initial point, name it as A and this is B. And how to represent is represent it as angle AOB. And based on this measurement, the angles are divided or labeled under certain categories. What are they? So let us start with acute angle. Acute angle lies between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. And what is a straight angle? Straight angle whose measurement, for example, if I take a line and a point on it, and if I want to measure the angle formed at that point A, which is equal to 180, and it is called as a straight angle. And next let us see what is a reflex angle. Reflex angle. So reflex angle is an angle which is greater than 180 and less than 360. So if I want to find or measure a reflex angle, let us take an example. Let us name this as X and this as Y. So angle Y is equal to 360 degrees minus angle X, which will be a reflex angle. Now, let us know what are intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are those when a line meets another line at a point. So let us name and take two lines as L and M, and let's see how it goes. Line L and line M. And these two are intersecting, means they meet at one common point, or they are crossing each other at a point, and we'll name it as O. And whenever we have intersecting lines, we have some angles formed here. And what is the relation between those angles? Angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. We can call this as a linear pair or supplementary angles. Any two angles whose sum is equal to 180 degrees, we name it as a supplementary, or we can call it as a linear pair. And angle 1 and angle 3, they are called as vertically opposite angles. And they are always equal. This is one pair of vertically opposite angles, and another pair is angle 2 and angle 4. They are also equal. So this is how we get two angles, that is vertically opposite angles and a linear pair or supplementary in the case of intersecting lines. And what are non-intersecting lines? When we take two lines and extend it indefinitely in both the directions, they never meet. Such lines are called as non-intersecting lines, or I can call it as a parallel lines. So if I take these two lines, and when I extend either to my right or to my left, both the lines, they never meet. Such lines are called as non-intersecting or parallel lines. And we have another line passing through these two parallel lines, then we call it as a transversal. A transversal can cut two lines which are parallel or non-parallel. And whenever it cuts two parallel, we have some features associated with the parallel lines and the transversal, that is special properties. What are those properties? Let us take two parallel lines and a transversal. Let us name these lines as L, M, N. Right. What are the different angles formed here? Angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the angles which lie in this region are called as interior angles or interior region. And this part, the angles, this is exterior region, and this is also exterior region. So what are the angles? We have seen 8 different angles, and what is the relation or what is the name we give to these angles? We'll see. Basically, we have corresponding angles and alternate angles. In alternate, again, we have two categories. One is alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles. And anyway, we have learned about vertically opposite angles and the linear pair. So these are the different angles which we see in the case of a parallel line and a transversal. So now let's see what is a corresponding angle and what is the relation between, and how many corresponding angles can be seen in the case of a parallel line and a transversal. So corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding, and angle 4 and angle 8. That means the two angles which lie above the two parallel lines taken are called as a corresponding, or below. This is one pair and second pair, and third we have angle 2 and angle 6 and angle 3 and angle 7. So these four are the corresponding angles, and the relation is they are always equal. The corresponding angles are equal. Now let us see what are alternate angles and alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles. So we'll say alternate interior. So alternate interior angles are the angles which lie opposite to the transversal and lie interior. So angle 3 and angle 5. Angle 3 and angle 5 and angle 4 and angle 6 are named as alternate interior angles. And relation is again, these two angles are equal and these two are equal. These two are equal and these two are equal. Right. Now let us see what are alternate exterior angles. Exterior, the word we know that it's like outside, and angle 1, angle 7 or alternate exterior angles, and angle 2 and angle 8. So the pair is angle 1, angle 7, angle 2 and angle 8. And again the relation is these two are equal and these two are equal. So these are the different angles that are formed in the case of a parallel lines and a transversal. Now let's take an example and check whether we'll be able to find the other angles in this case if one angle is given with the help of the properties which we have learnt. So let us take angle 1 equals to 60 degrees. And now I have to find all the other angles, 7 angles. Now angle 2. What is angle 2 equals to? 120. I can give this as 120 because the property of the linear pair. And angle 3 is equal to 60 degrees. The property is vertically opposite angles are equal, and this is based on the linear pair. Right? And now next again angle 4. I can take it as vertically opposite or based on the linear pair also. I can give that angle 4 is equal to 120. Now how to find the rest of the 4 angles? Now I know that angle 1 is equal to angle 5. What type of angles these are? These are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are always equal. So angle 5 is equal to 60 degrees. Now if angle 5 is 60, angle 7 is also 60 because it's a vertically opposite angle. This is again vertically opposite angle. And angle 8, again based on the linear pair, I can give it as 120. And based on again linear pair, I can name it this angle 6 as 120 or vertically opposite angle. So based on this, I can find out if one angle is given, the rest of the angles, all the angles I can find out. So this is how the parallel lines property help us to find the remaining angles if one angle is given. And the vice versa is also applicable. So what it is? That means if any of the properties, either I find that in the case of the two lines and a transversal, I find that corresponding angles are equal, or one of the vertically opposite angle equal, and along with the alternate interior angle or alternate exterior angle, I can say that the given two lines are parallel to each other. So this is about the concept of the lines and angles. Hope you have understood the concept, and in the next session we will learn and solve some